But yeah, looking forward to having a chat that we're now recording to put onto our website. We're going to, have a little chat about kind of what you've done and where you've got to today. So yeah, go ahead. What's your story? Why are we talking to each other just now?
Yeah, no, fantastic, Callum. Great to chat with you. So, our story is an interesting one. We were sort of out of COVID decided that sometime even before COVID, but COVID certainly really accelerated things. Decided that we wanted to escape to the country. Essentially, we both had very busy London jobs. We sort of put everything into our careers, and my wife and I, we decided, what are we doing it all for? And after a long time, sort of considering what we might actually want to do with our lives, we decided, let's get out to the countryside. And the two things we wanted to do and set up a business around was a vineyard and a glamping site. So we wanted to be a sort of self-contained little small holding where we could invite people to come and enjoy the space with us. We could produce something, actually sort of tangibly make something for ourselves and spend time outside. I think that's where the vineyard element came in, but also still get a chance to interact and meet people. And as I say, welcome people onto the site. So that's where sort of the glamping idea came in. And we always enjoyed spending time outside and glamping and things like that. So we decided that would probably work well for us. So yeah, we decided to try and actually make that happen. And here we are with it actually almost becoming a reality.
Nice. So, first thing I want to ask about, right, is, going kind of way back, everyone in London probably has that fantasy. Let's run away into the countryside and start something. How did you actually enable yourself to do it?
Yeah, it's a good question. So there's obviously a few aspects to that. I'd say for a long time in London, we knew sort of early on in our kind of London life and our careers that wasn't going to be for us forever.
Yeah.
So whilst we were both quite successful in our careers, we tried to keep our living costs very low and over time build up a bank of savings. So whilst we bought our sort of first house, it was a ex-council flat, 2-bedroom flat in the middle of London. It was very, very much a starter flat. Whilst we'd had a half dozen promotions each between us, or each really, we stayed there in that flat. We paid it down. We added to savings, and we didn't necessarily let the kind of the additional pay turn into fancy cars and holidays and things like that. So we were building up a bank of savings. So that was one element of it. I think there's probably we kept ourselves sort of traveling. We kept sort of getting ourselves out of London. We kept sort of remaining focused on what it was that we ultimately sort of thought we would want to achieve. But in the end, it was just a case of crunching some numbers and taking a risk and saying, you know what, we think we'll give it a bash. And I think we're both fortunate to have families and friendship groups behind us that are quite supportive. And if all went wrong, we had careers that we could definitely get straight back into and very transferable skills. So we had some safety net, some security blanket in that respect if things turned out not to work out.
Nice. And so that was like a personal lesson for me. Never mind glamping. That's like I should probably start saving. I should probably start with that. So yeah, good. You guys have been around maybe a couple of years now from a Glampitect perspective. So tell me about the kind of first interactions with us. What did you do, and then kind of what happened next from there?
Yeah, it was interesting. I had a chat with Ollie recently on his podcast, and that forced me to sort of look down memory lane a little bit at some of the interactions that we had. And actually, we've been engaged with Glampitect now for, I think it was 4 years. Maybe I think it's 4 years. 4 years,
yeah,
5 years. Where we sort of basically looked into what it would take to get a glamping business started. And I just wanted to sort of get ahead of any of the major hurdles. I figured planning was going to be the biggest one. And I think I put into Google, what's the deal with planning for a glamping site? And the Glampitect advice was the first that came up, and downloaded some materials there, jumped onto your Glampitect Academy, and And then I think, we'd always sort of followed what Glampitect was doing. It was only really a year or two after that when we found the site that we decided to buy, that we actually engaged with you guys for a feasibility study to see whether or not you thought it would work there as well. So kind of lurking in the background for a couple of years, keeping an eye on what Glampitect was doing, grabbing all of the free advice that we could, until we had something that was a little bit more concrete in the way of a site, because we certainly weren't going to be starting a glamping business from our 7th floor 2-bedroom London flat.
Yeah, that would be hard work. It's good that you found us through Google, and then you've done the academy, and like it's nice for me to hear this, because all that's like my brainchild of like, we get someone, they find us through Google, they do the academy, they then do the feasibility study, they do planning, and then like you guys are right now at probably the scariest bit, but also the best bit. Like, this is the most exciting time when you're, as you said before, a couple of months away from fully opening. And I remember like my first booking, my first guest, all those sorts of things, and that is the best time. And I can see like this suits you guys so much. It suits like you and Louise. This is like, it's really suited you, and it's great to see.
Yeah, we're really enjoying it. I mean, we absolutely no regrets. It's an enormous lifestyle change that we've sort of decided to embark on, and we've got a couple of small kids as well. One's nearly 3 and one's about 9 months, so they keep us incredibly busy as well. But knowing as well that what we've done is the right choice for them as well.
Yeah.
Safe in the knowledge that they're going to hopefully have a fantastic life here, a great place to raise children. But you're right, yeah, it's an incredibly exciting time at the moment. The pods are in place, but we're not yet at the point where we're open for bookings. So it's about making those pods in the style that we want, choosing the right curtains, blinds, hot tubs, decks, furniture, colours, kitchen utensils, everything else like that. We are we're hemorrhaging cash, of course, but we're incredibly excited about getting those bookings in. Slightly nervous. It's one of those things that until you actually start to see bookings coming in, despite everybody telling us, you guys are doing a good thing here, it's going to work out just fine, till we see those bookings, we're always that little bit nervous. What if people don't want to come?
That never ends, because obviously we spoke just before this about my own NEC site that's about to open, loads of units. I've done all the maths on it, I've done everything. We opened the booking straight a couple of weeks ago, and just before we did, I was literally sitting there thinking, what if nobody books? What if no one comes? Like, we have put so much money into this. What if nobody comes?
Yeah.
And it's scary.
That's
Obviously, you're not quite over
terrifying.
that hurdle yet, because you've not opened the bookings yet. But actually, I was about to say, it sounds like you've had traction. But tell me, have you had traction anywhere? Already? Is there interest already?
Yeah, so I mean, the obvious one is friends and family are fully sort of behind us, and they every time we have visits or people, I write a newsletter that keeps our friends and family up to date with everything that's been going on and updates and things like that. A lot of great sort of feedback from that. But Louise has recently been a little bit more active on social media, so she's been posting some videos on TikTok. And keeping up with sort of some posts on Instagram, Facebook as well. But TikTok in particular, she's had a couple of videos that have gone, into 6-figure viewers now, and is starting to give us thousands and thousands of followers. And it's really amazing actually to see the comments that are coming in on those videos. All people that we've never met, wishing us well and following along and really kind of rooting for us, which is. It's fantastic. It's complete strangers that are giving us their support, which is fantastic.
Good. Now tell me about the site, because you've not said on this call, like, how many pods have you got? What are they going to look like? Is there hot tubs? Blah blah blah.
Yeah, so we've got planning permission for 6 pods. Well, let me take a step back actually. So we've got a site that is about 10 acres. It's got a farmhouse, a bunch of outbuildings. It's got a field and an area of woodland, and then on top of that, it's got a little garden, veg patch. So we have the field, which is about 3 or 4 acres, which we've now planted as a vineyard. We've got 4 different varieties of grape that we're growing, and we're looking to then turn some of the outbuildings, the farm buildings on site, into an on-site winery, so that we can make our own wine on site. And then there's other buildings, maybe in time that will be farm shop, tasting room, restaurant, wedding venue, perhaps even. So that's one aspect of it. And then the other is we've got an area of woodlands, about 3 or 4 acres. And we've now got planning permission for installation of 6 glamping pods in that woodland. So they'll be quite nicely spaced out, lots of natural screening between them. We're starting with 3 pods. So we've got 3 pods put in initially, because we want to make sure that they are, well kitted out, and sort of at the point at which they become open, we want them really at that sort of the nicer level of luxury. So putting in the double beds, sofa beds, all of the kitchen equipment. They're the pods from Pod Factory, which are fantastic, high spec, even as standard. So we're really chuffed with those. They look great. They've got the sort of green tiling on them, so they go really nicely in the woodland. And then we're just sorting out at the moment how we do the outside space. But there'll be hot tubs, maybe saunas. There'll certainly be fire pits and outside seating, hammocks in the trees and swings and all that sort of stuff. So really hoping it'll be a fantastic sort of eco-tourism attraction. With the vineyard as well coming into maturity, people will be able to enjoy that, come along, have a tour, have a bottle of wine, stay in the pods, and kind of make it that complete offering as much as possible.
Nice, amazing. I mean, you guys, from what I've seen right throughout, you guys have always done everything right, and I think that this is just extended into this phase as well. Everything you're saying there, I'm just like, tick, tick, tick. This is all great, the stuff that you're adding in. The vineyard as well, like, I'm obviously super excited about that. I recently did a webinar, and I was like, be as authentic as you can, put in stuff that's USPs, that's different. Don't go, right, what does that person do, so I'm going to copy that. Do something that's so authentic to yourself, to the area, to the pods. And like, this is like the embodiment of that you've got a vineyard there. Like, that's so cool.
Yeah, it's interesting, because as part of the kind of the thinking about how we kit these pods out, Louise and I have been to see a few sites and things, and sites that we've seen. I mean, there's some that obviously we learn a lot of what we don't want to do, but actually sometimes we go and see sites and they're so fantastic, but they are perhaps not really us. They've got great spaces, and they may be set up in a particular way, and you can see how that's fantastic and it appeals to a certain audience. But we kind of we think, oh, let's do that, and then actually after a little while thinking about it more, we think, well, actually, how does that work with that, or does that really align with exactly what it is that we want to do? And this idea of really creating something that's quite luxurious within the woodland, eco, decks is a good idea. So a good example. Lots of pods that they'll put a fantastic sort of decking around at kind of door level, if you like, around their pod, so you can step right out of the pod and onto a fantastic deck, and you maybe have got a nice view, something like that. We actually want people to be more within the woodland. So actually having a deck and then having a railing around that deck sort of psychologically perhaps puts barriers up between the people that are staying in the pods and the woodland that surrounds them. So what we've actually decided we might do is immediately out of the pod have some steps that come down to ground level, and then maybe just have a decked sort of platform, but at ground level within the woodland. So you've got all of the convenience of it being kind of clean and dry and somewhere sturdy for your furniture, and you can put your hot tub. But there's no barrier between then just taking one step and being within the woodland among the trees and within nature, that sort of thing. So trying to just think about how we balance the kind of the convenience and what is sort of offered on the market with exactly what that means for us.
Nice. Yeah, I'm excited to come. Obviously, my partner, for those that don't know, is helping with the marketing. So we will be down and we will be staying with you at some point. And I'm really looking forward to it. Like, I mean, obviously, it's great that you're clients and I want to come and see your site anyway, but the way you're describing it, I want to come and stay, like, just in general, because it sounds fantastic.
Yeah, no, we'd love to have you here, Callum. It's as I say, one of the reasons that we wanted to do this was to invite people and enjoy this space and make it somewhere where people would want to come and stay, and would have a nice time when they do so. So yeah, we can we'll test that when you come to visit. You'll have to let us know if we've done a good job.
Yeah, look forward to it. So you've done literally everything with us. You've done feasibility study, you did planning, there's even the stuff before, the webinars, academies. You then bought Pod from our partner, Pod Factory, as you said. Now working with Propel and Parrot with marketing. How's it all been working with us? Please say good.
Good. Yeah. No, it's been great. It's been fantastic. I mean, it feels like, as I say, we've been working together for years, and you've just reeled off all of the things that we've done together. But actually, it's only really 3 or 4 things. There's 3 or 4 things where we've had to go and make a bank transfer to Glampitect or to Propelling Parrot or to Pod Factory. But actually, it feels like we've had this a sort of constant relationship over a number of years. So it definitely feels like a partnership where you guys are there by our side helping us out. So that's always been fantastic. There's so much information out there, so many different suppliers, providers out there. When you're trying to do something like this, it can be really overwhelming. And one of the things I sort of learned a little bit from my previous sort of more business kind of career is sometimes it's not necessarily what you know yourself, but it's who you know and who the people that you know and what that extended network as a whole, and I think if you can, one of the things I've been very conscious of is with sort of hanging my hat with Glampitect, if you like, is that I felt very early on like it was a relationship that I could sort of put my trust in, and I think I would say at every step of the way, it has been a good positive relationship, and super high quality. I mean, the feasibility study was fantastic, much more than we expected for a few £100. The planning application and support that we had with that was great. Fantastic quality documents from Xanthi and the team. The pods I mentioned, the pods are super high spec, and when you're about to sort of fork over tens of thousands of pounds for glamping pods, you really, I mean, unless you're at a stage where money is really no object, and let's face it, who's there? There's always going to be some analysis, and you're trying to figure out, is this something I really want to spend money on, and is this one better than this one? And in the end, you just have to take a risk, make a punt, and it's much easier to do that if you think, right, well, actually, Callum and the team haven't steered me wrong so far, so why would I rock the boat and go to somebody completely new, and hope that they're not going to make a mess of things?
Yeah, good. Okay, that's good. It's nice to hear, because obviously, like, I'm a little bit removed from the day-to-day now of Glampitect, but everything I'm hearing is why I set up Glampitect, and it is so nice for me to hear that you've had such a good experience. Everything's gone as I saw in my head all these years ago. And I mean, this is what we do it for, to get people to where you are right now. You're about to go and open your site. You're about to go and welcome guests, friends, family. And yeah, it's nice because, as you know, it's a long process. So, especially some of the newer guys in Glampitect, it takes quite a while for their clients to actually get open. So yeah, it's nice for me to hear that now. If there's going to be loads of people listening to this that are where you were 5 years ago in your London job, and they'll be thinking, should we do this? Shouldn't we do this? This is scary. What would you say to them?
I mean, if obviously have a good look at it, and if you think you can do it, just do it. Just go for it. Kind of back yourself, basically. Make sure that you've got some contingency, certainly for when things take longer or cost more than you think they're going to do. For us, that was holding on to our jobs. So whilst we moved to this property about 2.5 years ago, 2 years ago, and we were already starting the plans from before then. It's actually only last week that I handed in my notice from my job, in order to focus on the vineyard and the glamping site here full time. And Louise is still employed. So hold on to some of those things. See what you can kind of do in parallel in the in the weekends and the evenings.
Yeah.
Certain things just take time, but just take that first step. Reach out, start to speak to people. Really test whether or not you can make it work out. And you don't have to start. We're not starting with 6 pods, but we didn't even necessarily need to start with 3. You can start with 1 or 2, learn the lessons. Just take that first step. Really, just go for it.
Good. I wish I could have listened to you when I was going and starting my first site all those years ago, because I was freaked out before I did it. So yeah,
it's terrifying. Don't get me wrong. I've been freaked out probably every step of the way. But it's as I say, I'm getting a lot of support, friends, family, and sort of deep down, I know it's kind of the right thing. I trust my gut. I know that we've got something good coming here for our children and for our life going forward. So that kind of helps keep me going as well.
Yeah, good. Okay, have we missed anything more to mention just now?
No, I mean, I don't think so. It's been quite a ride. I think Ollie and I, for his podcast, jumped into some of the things that have gone well, some of the challenges that we've had. So if anyone's interested in hearing about that, Ollie's podcast has that. I'm obviously available if anybody wants to sort of chat and hear from my side, any of my experience on specifics that they have. But I think as a general overview, that probably covers everything.
Good. So I'm going to put this on a page on the website, and then we'll put on Ollie's podcast with you as well. So we'll put that in the same place. Where do people find you? What's the site called? What's the TikTok, Instagram?
Yeah, so probably could have said that an awful lot sooner in the conversation, couldn't I? But the vineyard, or the site, the business is called Liba Vineyard, Liba, and the website is going to be live in the next couple of days. And the website will have all the sort of instructions, information on bookings, and also all about our story and what we've got going on here with the vineyard and things like that. The website is libavineyard.co.uk. So people can find that in the next day or two. And Liba Vineyard is the handle for all of the social media, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. We've got Liba Vineyard, Liba Vineyard, and follow along. There's lots of cool and interesting stuff happening. Sometimes things go right, sometimes things don't go quite so right. But there's all sorts of stuff there that people can take a look at.
Good. Chris, thank you very much. This has been fantastic.
No problem. Cheers, Callum.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.
I'm still here, but I've turned off the recording.